Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening on this Saturday evening. And listen, I hope you're all ready for the big game tomorrow, because it is literally it's just the gloves are off tomorrow. Welcome to the preview of Tottenham v Arsenal, and all but one of us on the panel is hoping for an Arsenal win. Obviously, we've got Liam there, who's a Spurs fan, who's obviously, listen, he can't help that. but yeah, listen, welcome to the preview, and I'm going to get straight into it and introducing my guests. And first of all, Sam, how are you, Sam?
I'm great, thanks, Daniel. Thanks for having me on again. It's a pleasure to be here. Nice to see these other guys on the panel as well. Good of Liam to join us today. Always good to get that Tottenham point of view for a North London derby. So we'll take good care of him today. We won't scare him off. We'll try not to scare him off.
Yeah.
And big up everyone in the chat. I see the regulars have popped up already. It's good to see. We'll have some fun with you guys as well. And just be nice to talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. It's a big game. I'm excited, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, and it certainly is a big game. And next, we got Ryan. How are you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm good. It's North London Derby weekend finally, and it's at their new polished turd of a toilet bowl, as you like to put it. That very expensive toilet bowl. So, any opportunity to win that first derby there, I can't wait for it personally. The banter's already started in our little group chat this morning.
Yeah, and last but by no means least is our resident Spurs fan in the chats and on everybody's channel, Liam. How are you, Liam?
Yeah, evening, mate. Evening to everybody in the chat as well, and yeah, looking forward to it with a bit more of a nervous one tomorrow. Normally I'm a little bit, hyped up and gassed, but not tomorrow.
Do you know what it is, right? I always get nervous the night before a North London derby. It's like it's sort of a bit like trying to think of your nerve-wracking moments, but I always get nervous before a North London derby because this game means so much to us Arsenal fans and Tottenham fans. Even though historically historically Arsenal have had more success than Spurs, but even so, it's still a big occasion, for both sets of supporters. And like I said at the top of the show, all gloves are off. Do you know what I mean? All bets are off, and it comes down to this one game. Twice this season, for 90 minutes, it's competitive, and you can't get more competitive than a North London derby. There's nothing more competitive than a North London derby. What's going to be interesting for me is a North London derby behind closed doors. Which is going to be which is potentially going to take a little bit of the gloss off the North London derby, because obviously the supporters is what makes it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with no supporters in the stadium. But listen, it's going to be a great occasion. It's going to be at Tottenham's ground. It's going to be the first North London derby at their new place. So, listen, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game, and I think it's. Listen, although Tottenham are not in great form, form goes out the window on a North London derby. Listen, we've had it before where Arsenal have gone into it with great form. And we've not come out of it looking great, and so listen, even though you Spurs aren't doing great, listen, they're going to be up for it as much as we are. You know, we're going to be up for it, and yeah, listen, it's going to be an interesting contest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around each of you in turn, and yeah, how are you guys feeling about the game? So Sam, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I think you. Excuse me. I think you put a very nice introduction on it. Yeah, I mean, everything you said is so right. You know, it's such a big game. It's probably one of the biggest games when it comes to a derby game. It's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in the world. You know, it's right up there with the Milan derby and the Turkish Istanbul derby, and you know all of those. You know, it's really big, and like you say, form doesn't really matter, even though everything is pointing in our direction at the moment. We're on an upwards trajectory. We're looking quite good lately. We seem to have figured out a few things. Of course, we're far from where we want to be, but you know things are going in the right direction. It looks like Arteta's found out a few things, put a few more things in place in terms of a formation that seems to work, in terms of players playing better. And lately we've had a bit of form. We've had some good results. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Spurs, it's been a bit the opposite for them. They're struggling with Mourinho, struggling with their team and players and everything that's been going on there. So you know, if you was looking at it just based on form and just based on that, you would think Arsenal are the favourites and should win the game. But exactly like you said, Daniel, and you only have to go back through history, see all the games and what was going on beforehand. You know, it's just form doesn't matter. It's a one game. It's who wants it the most on the day, who's performing the best on the day. It's like a little cup final, you know, for the clubs. And you know, it's not just bragging rights for the teams and the fans, but you know, it means a lot for the players as well normally. And you know, it's going to be really interesting to see how it ends up tomorrow. Just want to point out one thing in the chat. Richard is in the chat. Richard, nice to see you, mate. It was interesting yesterday. Thanks again for that. And yeah, big up Richard. And he just wants me to ask Liam if he thinks there's an agenda against Spurs. You know, because what's going on? We're talking about all this agenda rubbish. If there's an agenda against Spurs with Mourinho and what's been going on with VAR and all this, you know, lately, a lot of bad decisions, hasn't there? So, yeah, what do you reckon, Liam? Do you reckon it's an agenda, or did you reckon it's just a bit bad luck?
Yeah, big up everybody in the chat as well. Big up everybody in the chat. So, I'm going to come to you next, Ryan. What do you know, how are you feeling about the game tomorrow? And
I'll let Liam answer Sam's question first, and then that come back to me.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Liam.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say no. There ain't an agenda. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of bad luck in a couple of the games, but to be fair as well, we've not take them decisions out of the game. We've not been good enough, you know, playing the football. You know, it's like kick and run at the minute, and it's not. Yeah, it's not good, mate. But now there's no agenda. It's just bad officials.
Yeah, it's so laugh.
Yeah. So yeah, when it comes to myself, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm not getting too over the top though, because I remember when we were at our pinnacle best, and literally we were brushing teams aside. But it comes down to North London derby weekend, home or away. It was always a very tight, close game because Tottenham, even when they were at their lowest and they were fighting for relegation, they picked themselves up for that game and made it an absolute slugfest. And I expect nothing less tomorrow. If they do what they did against Bournemouth in the North London derby, Reno should be sacked straight away, because that is not what a North London derby should be. One team dominating. But yeah, it's sort of bittersweet in one sense that obviously it's behind closed doors, so the fans won't be there, so we can enjoy it if we do beat them at their for the first derby at their place, but not to the extent we did when we won the league there in 2004, or we won the last cup game under the lights at White Hart Lane and tore their place apart, things like that. Because that, even though we have actually the club has actually won there this season already in terms of our women's team. To do a double on them in the same season, that would have been brilliant to be there. But I fully expect our players to turn up because Arteta knows what the North London derbies. But he's a player. He played in the North London derbies, and certain players know what it is to playing this derby. And I don't care what don't rise to the games of what Dele Alli and the one at Kieran Trippier at Atletico Madrid are saying. Don't take notes. Do not rise to the bait, because if you do, that's when your head switches off. That's when they'll catch you off. And that's what Mourinho wants. He likes to play their mind games. So if you don't play to it, you've already won half the battle.
Yeah, like I say, big up everybody in the chat. I've just seen a comment from Fred Arsenal saying that Spurs are virgins when it comes to winning trophies.
Richard popped up. Richard popped up in the chat again saying, "Told you, other clubs fans don't think there's an agenda against them because there isn't. There's only one against us."
Yeah, maybe they're just not as delusional as us, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
You say that, but I think they're a bigger club than us. So technically, that's sort
of. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. I mean, for me. So, I mean, I'm really excited, and I remember when I was a kid, growing up, supporting Arsenal. I remember my brothers and my family were always like, it was the North London derby was always the biggest game of the season, you know, and it was always such. I mean, the build up was so much, you know, for the days before the game, and everyone was just so tense on the sofa watching it. You know, or sometimes we were down maybe a bar or whatever watching it, and everyone was just so tense, you know, because this is the game, this is the one you want to win, you know. There's just so much more invested in that fixture, and so it's definitely there's so much added to it, isn't there? But like you say, it's a bit of a shame now without the fans, because all that dimension, all that side of it's not there, is it? All the fans digging into each other, and all the banter and all of that, you know, it's not there, is it? So that part of it, cheering each team on, is not there, unfortunately.
I think the one time in the North London derby in my lifetime that the rivalry sort of went aside for a few minutes was up back in 2001. I mean, obviously, Rocky Rocastle died the day before. You know, we did our main silence on it, and literally the Tottenham fans did it as well. And they respected it. There was no booing or jeering. That's the one time where the rivalry sort of been put aside for that moment, until obviously the match kicked off and it all changed. But obviously, to show that respect. Rivalries aside, I took my hat off to them, because you wouldn't expect that. That was even that day. That day itself was weird, because obviously what I've said about Rocky passing away the day before. So to have a North London derby the day after was so weird. But again, hats off to the Tottenham fans that turned up that day and showed the respect that for us doing our minute silence for Rocky, because that meant because Rocky's meant so much to us, and I think that would have been, if they had done the opposite, that would have made you would not want to be there basically, because it would have all kicked off.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Remember, guys, do smash a like on this video and do subscribe to the channel if you are new. So what I'm going to do now is what I thought is I would go around each of you in turn and just give me your favourite memory of the North London derby. So Ryan, I'm going to start with you. Your favourite memory.
Obviously, from an Arsenal fan's perspective, my favourite memory was that 03-04. Nothing will top the 03-04 at White Lane for me at this moment in time, because could be confirmed champions on your next door neighbour's turf. Obviously, we've done it at Anfield in '89. We did it in 02 at Old Trafford, but to do it on your next door neighbour's turf, and then we agreed not to celebrate. The players agreed not to celebrate and all this, but then when they see Rico, whatever his name was, jumping up and down after a 2-2 draw, then they think, no. You want to give it for a 2-2 draw. You watch now. You can take it, and we'll celebrate on the pitch. And even Wenger came out afterwards. He went down came out a while. He acknowledged the fans, and obviously Henry Campbell as well. And that was it. for Sol Campbell, who in 2001 to obviously leave Tottenham, he wanted to win the title, compete for the title, this, that, and the other. And then, 3 years later, you're going to win. You're going to win at White Hart Lane, the title at White Hart Lane, but for the team you've just, the team across the road there.
He was even captain.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't make that up. You literally couldn't make it up. Everything had fallen into place for him because of all the abuse he got afterwards. And for Spurs, from a Spurs perspective, you could see why they got the abuse, because that's like the unwritten rule. You don't do what Sol did and others have done throughout the years.
Mm.
And for him to come through, I think he came through the academy, didn't he, at Tottenham, and came up through the ranks. So it hurt even more than what others had done, because obviously they had George Graham previously. He turned up there for a spell, and they thought they'd have one over on us. So we went one better and got their best player, and actually went on to win multiple titles.
Yeah,
but that North London derby 03-04 White Hart Lane, that will never be, for me at this moment, as it stands, nothing will come close to that, because of winning the title on your rivals on your next door neighbour's turf, and having the front to rub it in, even though you've been told not to, and then have a plaque made and put on the stadium, which they've still got, by the way, on their new stadium, where Arsenal won the league here, 71, 2004. Brilliant.
Wow, that's just for me as well. I think it's that moment that like you say, winning the league at White Hart Lane, you'll never get better than that. That's for me, that was just world class, absolutely class. Liam, I'm going to come to you because I'd be interested to see what you pick out from a Spurs point of view. So, of the North London derby, what's your favourite memory?
To be fair, just enjoying like the game. To be fair with you, like, obviously the games that we've won, and the tight games, that we've lost, like when we lost 5-4, and when we, I just enjoy the day. Obviously like coming from an Arsenal, family base, it's just not had a lot to smile about over the years, with them guys, but just the game is just sort of, you just get so involved and just like loving the fixture, home or away, and just it's going to be tomorrow is a bad one for Spurs, because we needed the fans, they're our little extra push, especially being at home, but, and obviously through the years, Arsenal have been, they've been labelled like, they've not been up for the game. They don't understand the history of the game. But like I say, it's another game tomorrow, and we just got to hopefully somehow put a performance in for 90 minutes, for the fans, because we deserve it, after the dross that we've had for the last couple of, since the return of football. So we just got to turn up tomorrow somehow, some way, and just put it together for 90 minutes for the fans.
Yeah, and Sam, your favourite memory?
Yeah, I mean, that what Ryan mentioned for me comes a very close number two. Because of course, what Ryan mentioned there, everything he said, is so dead on with how incredible that experience was, and also it also shows how tricky that fixture is, because even though we looked like we were going to smash them, early, and we were just so much on top in that fixture, they still managed to pull out, a 2-2 draw in that game, So it shows you how tricky the fixture always is, no matter what the form is and how good the team is versus the other. But yeah, definitely that memory. What you said there comes as a close number two. But for me, my number one comes down to basically it's nostalgia, because for me, it was the first really important North London derby that I got to experience as a kid on television, and what it was the semi-final of the FA Cup in '93 when we played Spurs at Wembley, and it was that header by Adams, to win the game 1-0 quite late in the game. That 1-0 victory there at Wembley against Spurs, and they were a good team. I mean, they were just as good as us on paper. I mean, they had quality players, as well. I mean, they were a good team then, and it was a very, very close match, a very tight match, really hard match. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's
moment.
wow. Yeah, that's it. That's the moment. I mean, that gives me goosebumps trying to see that. That gives me goosebumps because it was that celebration I saw there, and it's that game that for me is the number one. I know it's not the most spectacular in the history of the North London derby, but for me that was the first real big important North London derby. That was a semi-final. The winner gets to the FA Cup final. For us that was a big deal back then, of course. Back at that time. And to see that game on telly, Wembley, the whole Wembley thing. I mean, it started off in the early afternoon. With the whole run up thing, all the pre-match hype and everything, all day long on BBC. I mean, it was just wow. It was just amazing. And for me, that's the real standout moment for me for the North London derbies. Even though it's not the most spectacular, it's just that meant so much to me. Being the first big game I actually got to see. Oh, how old was I then? I wasn't that young. I was about 12. I was about 12. I was 12 then. 12.
I was a toddler. I was about 2 or 3.
I was 12. But for me, because I'd been living previously in the States, I didn't get any Arsenal football over there. We've been not long since we'd moved back from the States, and obviously as being over there, we didn't get to see any Arsenal or football on TV back then. So it was like the first real big fixture I could see on TV in England. It just meant so much to me, that game.
Yeah. Listen, big up to everybody in the chat. So Omar says his favourite memory is obviously winning the league at Shite Hart Lane, as he put it, which big up to the power of Zen.
Got everyone in the chat today. Tyrone.
There's a question for Liam here from the Arsenal Misfit, Steve Wismark. He says, how would you rate Jose Mourinho since he took over at Spurs?
Well, it's a bit of a tricky one. It's been 6-7 months. We didn't have football for 3 of that, so it's not his team at the minute, but it doesn't look like he's going to get the money as well in the summer to get what he wants. So yeah, it's been up and down, to be fair. Like he's done well to a point, but to be fair, this is his style of football that we've seen in the last, since the return of football again. This is his football now. So, but based on return of football, it's been shocking. But we'll find at the end of the season what's going to happen, really, because without the money, it's just going to carry on the same.
Yeah. And big up to Cheddars in the chat.
Yeah, big up Cheddars. Simpy's just come in. Hey, big up Simpy.
Fred Arsenal says R.I.P. Jack Charlton. Yeah, that's
I was gutted when I heard that this morning.
Yeah, he was. That was
character. He was a good character.
Yeah, it was very sad news this morning to read that, especially it was first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Daniel, what about your? Have you got your favourite derby experience or game or?
Yeah, I think for me, we're like. I'd have to agree with Ryan in terms of the win at White Hart Lane, because nothing will top that. The only thing that will top that is if we ever beat them in a Champions League final. That's the only thing that would potentially ever top.
Wow, yeah.
That was the only thing that would ever top that. If we got Spurs in the Champions League final and beat them,
imagine that. Bloody hell! Imagine that. Fucking hell! That would be mayhem, wouldn't it? And you know what it'd be? Of course, fucking UEFA, they wouldn't move it to Wembley, would they? They'd
Oh,
fucking
no,
still be.
whoever it is.
It'll still be over in fucking Baku or something like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but for
someone
me,
can reach.
nothing would top that. No amount of sex with the missus would top that. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ!
Because it was what was that? Was it the Champions League final between Man U and Chelsea or something like that?
Moscow, Russia.
And there was, and they requested it to be moved to Wembley, and they're like, nope, it's going to be in Moscow. Nope, sorry, can't have it at Wembley.
even last season with the Baku thing with us and Chelsea, because of
exactly, why not move it to Wembley?
Standpoints and everything else that we said move it to Wembley. We're both literally on top of each other. Move it to Wembley. It's a nope.
And it's a bigger stadium for stadium for fans to get to. It's easier to get to. You know, logistically, it makes so much sense.
Well. It's bigger stadium.
There's so much corruption in all that, isn't there? Jesus Christ.
Well, of course. Well, if you believe the rumor of one, ex BBC reporter is claiming that Man City are getting off, basically, to be confirmed either today or Monday, that they're getting off with their ban thing, apparently. But that's one person saying it. No one else is actually saying it. But if you believe,
do you know the thing is as well with the like with the Baku thing was a bit kind of stupid because they so many fans missed out on going to that final because of its location. I even had
the capacity and the low capacity.
Yeah, I had a ticket for that game. I got a ticket for £26, right? And what's
how much did you sell it for? How much you sell it for?
I didn't. No. I had a chance to because I'm a season ticket holder. I got first offerings of the ticket.
You sold it.
And I would have taken it because I wanted to go, but the flights was like over £1,000.
Yeah, I know. Ridiculous.
I remember when the final come out. I just booked to go to Australia, which was costing me £4,500, and I was like, "There's no way I can do this." Do you know what I mean? So I was just like, I would have done it. Even they offered it. I'm not going to name the company because I don't want to obviously blow them up. But they the company actually dropped it down. They offered it me half price, and I was like, I just can't do it. I can't justify spending that level of money to go to a cup final. Do you know what I mean? I said, as much as I want to go, when I priced it all up, it was coming out at another $3,000 just for that trip. Because the other thing is as well,
all the hotel prices go up as well, don't they? You know,
and also the thing is, I seen a lot of things, right? That people were going into hotels and their rooms were getting double booked and cancelled, and because obviously the infrastructure in Azerbaijan is not great. Do you know what I mean? It's not. So yeah, I was like, nah. As much as I want to go, and I was tempted. I was literally tempted. But yeah, I looked at that, and those were direct flights as well, which was costing expensive. You could probably get there. You know, I think I saw one Arsenal fan. They'd done it, but they went from like London to blooming Hungary, then to Turkey, then Turkey to Baku. Like they literally went on about 4 flights just to get the price down, which is sod that for a game of soldiers. Do you know what I mean? It's just,
Jesus Christ.
But it's mad though. It is mad. But yeah, that's the only thing for me that would
top it. Yeah.
You know, top it was.
I think that's pretty much the same. I think any Arsenal fan like under the age of 30 or 35 is going to have that. I think they're going to have that one as their favourite, you know, because that is the standout one, isn't it? That one at White Hart Lane, obviously.
Yeah, big up Simpy who's joined, and just want to say a massive thank you to Simpy for designing the thumbnail for today's video. Big up John, the Merseyside Rambler.
Big up guys. All the legends in the chat.
Yeah.
Only if we won that.
So yeah, big up.
If we won
big
that
up
game
everybody.
last year, like what sort of different story would be talking about now? Like we won the Champions League.
If you won the Champions League, oh my God, we wouldn't have lived that down, would we? What would we have done?
Yeah,
what would we have done? Oh my God.
Thankfully, 30 seconds of madness helped us out there.
Do you know if Tottenham had won that game, the Champions League final, right? Yeah,
we would never have lived that down.
I would have. The pandemic should have been last year. We should have gone into lockdown last year. That's
Deny Tottenham the Champions League.
No. The pandemic should have been declared the day after. If they'd have won it the day after, just for going into lockdown, because I would have put myself into lockdown, because there's no way that. Yeah, do you know? I'll get a one-way ticket to paradise if that happened, because the amount of blooming, honestly, we wouldn't have lived that down. Jesus Christ! And do you know what the worst thing is, right? If Spurs had won that game, no amount of banter in them would ever no. We could banter them till the cows come home, and they'd always have that one ace up their sleeve, wouldn't they? But thankfully, the Spurs do what Spurs do best and bottle it. But do you know what? Do you know what it is as well? Like, we couldn't even take the piss out of them after that game, because we got absolutely battered by Chelsea in the Europa final. Do you know what makes our defeat more worse than Tottenham's? For the simple fact being is that Spurs obviously lost in the final of the Champions League, but we lost and we had everything to play for, whereas Chelsea, they didn't even have anything to play for. They were already in the Champions League. So for them, it was just winning a trophy, whereas we had the extra carrot of getting into the Champions League, and we fucked it up. We literally just... Yeah. Oh, God. We wouldn't have lived it down if Tottenham had won that.
Yeah. For North London Derby Champions League final, we both need to get back in the Champions League for that to happen. I'll just be happy for us to win it, full stop. Be that first North London team. Chelsea nicked our bloody title of being the first London team. We were robbed of that, actually. We were talking about yesterday. In 2006, we should have been the first London team to win it, but along with obviously North London. But nope, Chelsea had come across 6 years later and take that away from us.
So Chadwick's asking most hated Spurs player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not easy that one.
Ask Liam most hated Arsenal player, so it's balanced. So literally, put balance out then.
What currently or of all time?
All time.
Of all time. Yeah. Your most hated Arsenal player. Whilst we're thinking of a Tottenham player.
Well, for me, it's going to have to be Sol.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's going to have to be Sol.
Oh dear. I can't. Yeah, I understand that. So I would have thought you would have said this one behind me. He loved the North London derby, old Perez, old Bobby.
Oh yeah, but just because of where he came from and what he did. I would have said Thierry, because all he did was he just kept scoring against us all the time.
he did pick the ball up from deep inside our own half and run the pitch and score. And run back instead of your fan in the corner.
To this day, how no one walloped him before he got to the penalty box, I would never know.
He just glided past every single one of you.
Yeah.
Doherty, you name it. He's just like, yeah. And Casey Keller's in goal. So
big up Mr. Bungle in the chat.
Mr. Bungle, hello.
So Omar says Dele Alli is his most hated Spurs player. Do you know, for me, actually, it's probably current players. It's probably Harry Kane, and the only reason I say that is because he like, take nothing away that he's a quality player, but he rubs it in. Literally, he proper rubs it in, and I do think he has genuine hatred for Arsenal, because obviously we let him go. You know, and I generally and you know, the sad thing is as well is I don't like, if I was in his shoes, I'd probably do exactly the same thing.
I'd love to know I'd love to know who in his family leaked down photos though of him as a kid at an Arsenal parade. I'd love to know who did that.
Yeah.
Who did he upset? But yeah, Mad Max put it as mentioned in the chat Adebayor. And I mean, in recent times, yeah, it has to be him because for him to do what he did and go to Man City and then it didn't work out there to then go to Arsenal to Tottenham, sorry, knowing that it would piss off the Arsenal fans and the reaction he'd get from that, and everything he had done at Arsenal would completely be car washed, then that'd be done and dusted.
Do you know the thing?
That,
Though,
and
I rated Adebayor. I actually rated him. And the thing is, I don't blame. This is another thing that I blame Wenger for because he didn't want to go to Man City. You know what? You know.
I understand that, but then after that didn't work out, Man City to then go to Tottenham, knowing it would literally tarnish his entire Arsenal career in the Arsenal fan base.
And I think that's why he wanted to do it because, to be fair, this is what I don't get. You know, like when a lot of people have got an issue with Fabregas when he went to Chelsea from Barcelona, and see that, you know, obviously it's not the same as going to Spurs, but like a lot of people have got an issue because obviously he said that he would never go to another. And I always keep saying to people that you have to remember these players aren't Arsenal fans; they're professional footballers.
Yeah. But then, as I'm saying, to do that, tarnish all that, and then what was it? I think it was a North London derby at the Emirates, the second 5-2 we had. He scored 1-0 up, celebrated a bit and the clock because that's what obviously the Spurs fans were, but then to literally have Santi Cazorla take a flying lesson in the air, and then proceed his innocence. I think. It was just absolutely outrageous, and then to dye your hair orange as well.
He was crazy. Adebayor was a nutcase. He was a nutcase.
To think he had a chance at that time of being at Tottenham to help them push above us at that time. Because I remember the final day of the season, we were away at Newcastle. We had to win to secure. I think it was the fourth spot that asked Champions League spots, and obviously Tottenham were fifth. We won 1-0, and at one point, obviously they'd gone 1-0 up, and they thought we'd drawn 1-1. And obviously he's on the pitch celebrating, and obviously nope, that's a load of bollocks. So things like that, I took great pleasure in because it was as you said, Daniel, he's not an Arsenal fan. He's a professional footballer, but knowing what he did, going to them, like when. It's not completely the same as Sol Campbell, but similar, and that's where you can see where the hatred of the Tottenham fans have for Sol because of what he did. But from an Arsenal fan perspective, we don't care because he came to us and had such an amazing time at Arsenal with the league titles, the FA Cups, and all that. Whereas Adebayor, he'd done that eventually. Went to Tottenham, but he didn't win anything silverware-wise, I believe. And he dipped out of form again, and even Tim Sherwood couldn't get nothing out of him. I think he's still playing, but yeah, in most recent times, I think he's got to be the one that grinds my gear most, just because of that. I mean, all time wise, if you go way back, I'd have to say Teddy, because he just loves scoring against us.
Yeah. Remember, do fire them likes up, guys, and do hit the subscribe if you are new. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around each of you in turn and just give me your lineup for tomorrow. So I'm going to start with Sam.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. It's quite easy for me. I think Arteta is going to stick with the same lineup as last game against Leicester. I do hope the only change is I hope that we see Cedric come back in instead of Bellerin. Because I was looking at the team news today, and I don't see. There's no mention of Cedric being injured or out for any reason. So I'm hoping he gets back into the starting lineup again tomorrow. And apart from that, I think we're going to see exactly the same team that lined up against Leicester in all the same positions. I'm pretty sure of that. And for me, that's okay. It worked okay, and then we'll. Apart from one, there's one change, significant change, of course. I want to make. I want Pepe to come on instead of Saka. I would like to see Pepe on the right, and then listen. It's not what I would prefer myself, but we're probably going to see Lacazette down the middle, and we're going to see Aubameyang out left. We're going to see Aubameyang out left, even though I'd rather see Aubameyang down the middle and Saka out left with Pepe out right. Obviously, I think we're going to see Pepe back in the team tomorrow on the right, but we're going to see Lacazette in the middle, and we're going to see Aubameyang out on the left, and that means Saka gets dropped to the bench most likely. And I hope, as I said, Cedric starts as that right wing back. Apart from that, everything's going to be the same. We're going to see it's going to be Xhaka and Ceballos in the middle.
Would you not bring Torreira in there?
No, I think it works so well. He's not going to change it. Ceballos had an excellent game. Ceballos had an excellent game, and I don't think he wants to change that. And then that means Tierney out left as the wing back, and then it's going to be Kolasinac, who had a good game against Leicester. He's going to be the left centre back, and then you're going to have most likely Luiz then as a central back, and then Mustafi on the right hand side. And got to hand it to them. They've been playing quite well lately. So I think that's what we're going to see. And Martinez in goal has been brilliant as always recently. Yeah, so it's going to be, I think that's going to be the team we see.
Yeah, and Ryan, your lineup.
Yeah, I think pretty much the same as Sam has said. In a goalkeeper Martinez, we know the back five, because the wing backs are going to be Tierney. I'd say I'd want Cedric in, because I think he's better. Whoever's on that right hand side in the wing attacking position, he'll complement better. So I'd have Cedric, Tierney, then Mustafi, Luiz, and then Kolasinac. Keep the midfield pairing of Xhaka and Danny at the moment, because it's working. As Sam says, it's working perfectly at the moment. Why change something?
Why fix it if it's not broken? Yeah,
exactly. I was trying to think now, and then but front three wise, see, this is because of the performance of the other night. I'll drop Lacazette to the bench and put Saka on the left, Aubameyang through the middle, Pepe on the right, and just because Tottenham, let's be honest, Tottenham's defence at the moment isn't the best. They ain't blessed with pace. Use the pace we have got and stretch them, and because that would be where it hurts them most. Because you can stretch, and catch them out on the pace side of things, and literally tear their defence a new one. I mean, if Sheffield can score three passes just standing most of the time on the spot, imagine what we can do with that front three. And Saka's in form at the moment. No matter where we play him, so play him when he's left hand side, Pepe on the right, Aubameyang down the middle. I'll drop Lacazette just because he ain't taking. We played on Tuesday, he didn't take his chances.
Yeah.
Even the easy ones, the most easy one we could have sent back across goal, he didn't.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Listen, I agree with you guys. I think the lineup would be pretty much the same. The only changes I would make is I'd drop Laka to the bench, bring Pepe in, put Pepe out right, put Aubameyang through the middle and Saka out left, and then Suarez as the right wing back. And other than that, I wouldn't really change the lineup because it's working well, so I wouldn't really change it. I think that would be a brilliant team. Liam, I'm gonna ask you what your what your Spurs lineup would be for this game.
Okay, so I've got Hugo Lloris. My back four is a little bit different to what will probably happen, because I was thinking, obviously, Aurier outright, Alderweireld and Sanchez in the middle, and Vertonghen at left back. Then I would go Sissoko and Ndombele with Lo Celso just in front of them two, and then my top three would be Bergwijn, Son, and Kane.
Right. Yeah, Bergwijn looks pretty good, doesn't he? I don't know what he's like now. He's been dropped for a few games, but
this
he's
is
been promising.
Jose for you, though. That's Jose for you.
Yeah.
Bergwijn's
Yeah.
looking good, and we know Son. I mean, Son is always a threat. He's been probably your best player this season, apart from I don't know who else has really been as good as him as consistent. Son has been really good. He's a threat, and of course Kane. He always manages to sneak in a goal against us. So maybe on some cheeky penalty or something like that, even. So yeah, I mean, that's another threat. And Bergwijn's been looking good. He's another threat. Your front three is pretty good with those three as well, you know. So it'd be interesting to see how we handle them, though. I mean, we've been doing pretty well lately handling wide players with our formation. So be interesting to see how it goes. And of course, you've got a strong midfield there as well. If you play with those guys, you know, it's just the thing with Mourinho, isn't it? You don't really know, what's going on. You know, whether you can motivate them if they're playing for him, what's going on. You know, maybe they're a bit fed up with him. The tactics are a bit, out of date, aren't they? A bit slow, a bit defensive. You know, if you're the home team, even though there's no fans, you're the home team. You're the team who's supposed to be taking command and being on the front foot. You know, I don't know how Mourinho's going to line up with, if he's going to go more laid back and go on for counter attack, or that's another thing. For us, I was thinking, Mourinho, us as Arsenal against Mourinho, we don't have a good record against Mourinho. We've hardly beaten Mourinho. All these teams he's managed in England.
No, we haven't, and that's what worries me.
We've got a very poor record against Mourinho. And Mourinho knows how to play against Arsenal. That's another thing, we haven't really talked about, and that's another thing that makes me a bit more worried as well. Is even though Mourinho, for all that's been going against him lately and everything, he hasn't been doing great lately. He still knows how to beat Arsenal, because that's what he was doing pretty much the whole time previously. So be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm hoping Bergwijn can keep Tierney going back the other way, because obviously we need to go with pace on the wings. So Son and Bergwijn will do that, but he likes to play Lucas Moura quite a lot, and obviously I didn't add him, but Jose does. So, but yeah, we need to keep Tierney, and obviously whoever plays for you at the right back, whether it be Bellerin or Maitland-Niles, we need to push them back as far as we possibly can.
Yeah. Because if Tierney gets running down that left flank, he's going to cause a lot of damage with his crosses and interplay with Aubameyang.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen with Tierney the last few games how progressively better he's getting every game. So yeah, if you give him free roam, it's on your head to be it, because he can punish you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's go into score predictions. And I'm going to start with Liam. What are you going for tomorrow?
What do you want, head or heart?
Both.
Go for both. Okay. Yeah, why not say both?
Yeah.
Okay. My heart, hopefully 2-1. But my head is saying, I think we're going to get hurt. I think we're going to lose 3-1.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Sam, your score prediction?
Listen, like I said throughout this show today, even though we're looking better on paper, we're in form. Our players are playing better. We look to have figured out a few things. All what I said earlier, you would think on paper, if you were looking at, based on that, we'll be winning the game. But listen, all of that goes out the window on the day. It's what happens on the day, who wants it the most, who gets the decisions going their way or not. There's probably going to be some controversial decisions again tomorrow. We'll probably get the agenda debate come back again tomorrow. And listen, it's going to be a tight game for me, because Mourinho, like I said, all of what's not been going his way, and he hasn't been great this season for Tottenham. He's a bit outdated. We can see the cracks in his armour. He knows how to play against Arsenal. He's done that very successfully many times. We've hardly beaten him. So that is also a factor we have to remember. And so for me, I do think we're going to win, because I do think on the day we're gonna pull it off. We're gonna do what's needed. We're going to have that just a little bit of extra quality on the day. But it's going to be very tight. For me, it's going to be, I can see a 1-0 or a 2-1, but I'm going to stick with my prediction I've been thinking about lately. I think it's going to be a narrow 2-1 win for Arsenal.
Yeah. Ryan, your score prediction?
I think it'll be a very tightly contested 3-1 win to the Arsenal. I think it'll be literally 2-1. We'll go 2-1. We'll be 2-1, and literally right at the end, we'll seal the game for the last few minutes. But yeah, very tightly fought 3-1 win. Because again, North London derbies, as I said earlier, alluded to earlier, not only does form go out the window, both teams turn up 9 times out of 10. And I fully expect with the Mourinho there and his history with Arsenal as well, he ain't going to want to get battered and go. He'll want his players to go out with a bit of and show some fight at least, and make things difficult for us. So I think we'll just nick it 3-1.
Yeah, listen, I agree.
I'd quickly mention though.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go for it. No, go for it, Liam. Go for it.
I was just gonna say, obviously, us fans, obviously Spurs fans and everything, we're not gonna, we're at home. The fans will want us to be on the front foot, and I think this is like Jose's. This is where the fans could turn on Jose if we like sit back, invite pressure, don't play on the front foot, because and I think tomorrow if it goes wrong, Jose is going to get a lot of heat from the Spurs fans.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said at the beginning of the show. If Tottenham turn up tomorrow on their home turf for North London derby and play the way you did against Bournemouth, and then allow the opposition to have all the ball, it's going to be an absolute slaughtering tomorrow. And then, as you said, Tottenham fans will turn on Mourinho like you won't believe.
He's going to get it.
But again, as an Arsenal fan, I'll take great pleasure in that because he is what he is.
Of course.
Yeah, listen, for me as well, I think I honestly think we'll win it 3-2. I do think it will be quite an open game because the derbies, like I say, form goes out the window, and I just think it's going to be one of them topsy-turvy games where you don't know which way it's going to go, and I think we'll just come out on top 3-2. I really do think that, even though we've been playing well, and even though Spurs have been playing crap, like I say, form goes out the window, and I think there'll be lots and lots of twists and turns, like there always is in a North London derby. And I think we'll just come out on top 3-2. But having said that, I am slightly nervous of our record against Jose Mourinho's sides. We don't tend to come out on top. The only thing that I will say is that most of those defeats have come under Arsene Wenger. So I'm not, I'm slightly more confident. But listen, who knows? I'm a little bit more confident this time because Jose Mourinho is sort of losing it. He is starting to lose it.
Did you see that clip the other night after the Bournemouth game when they were trying to do their press conference afterwards, and there was like, Jose,
just walked out.
No.
He just walked out. Yeah, he was really pissed off when he wasn't in a good mood. Daniel, do you want me to read out some? Do you want me to read some score predictions from the chat?
Yeah, go for it, Sam. Go for it if you've got them up there. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I got them here. So, first of all, Tyrone. So Tyrone's written, Son versus Hugo is the only time Spurs showed some fight this season. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mr. Bungle says 5-0 to the arse. I think he's smoking something there. Maybe we can share it around. Tyrone McIntyre went for 4-2 Arsenal. I mean, I don't know, with a Mourinho team, we're going to get a 6-goal game. That's the thing. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It never is with Mourinho. Cheddars, of course, being Cheddars, you bastard. 1-0 to Spurs.
Yeah.
Liverpool scum.
Get in there, Cheddars.
And
typical Scouser.
Typical Scouser. Richard, our main man, he's going for 4-1 Arsenal. I mean, that is That is very cloud nine, really, I think. But yeah, we'll see.
Or 5-0 isn't.
Yeah, I'll say 5-0. As I said, Mr. Bungle 5-0. Give us what you're smoking, mate. I mean, that is definitely way off the chart, isn't it?
It
Tyrone
could happen
saying,
the way we've been playing.
I don't see it happening, mate. 5-0, Jesus Christ.
Not
When's the last time there's been more than? When's the last time there's been more than like a three or four goal victory in a North London derby? I mean, there's been a 5-2, hasn't there, or whatever. Apart from that, and a 3-0 here and there.
2012 was the last time a 3-goal swing. Yeah, it was like 5-2.
Tyrone
back-to-back.
McIntyre says you can see a red card coming. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some tempers flying tomorrow if they get going. Elias says we haven't beaten a team managed by Mourinho away from home, as Richard confirms. Yep, we still haven't won away against Jose, any of his teams until tomorrow. Richard says, and of course, until tomorrow. We hope we do that tomorrow. Omar reckons we'll win 2-1. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh yeah, Elias.
People watching. Big up 17 people.
Ilias 1-0 win to Arsenal. And yeah, Richard's just pointed out that the last 5-0 game was at the Lane in 1978. So that's 2 years before I was born. So a long time ago.
Yeah. Listen, it's going to be an interesting contest. It's going to be a very interesting contest. Remember, guys, do fire them likes up and do subscribe if you are new to the channel. I really appreciate that. Listen, guys, probably going to wrap up here because it's been a brilliant, brilliant preview. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around each of you in turn and just give your platforms a shout out. I'm going to start with you, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on again. You must be getting sick to death of hearing my voice every other day. But yeah, no. You can find me on the Mr. Arsenal podcast YouTube channel and on Twitter at Mr. Arsenal89. We'll be we're literally coming off this in about 10 minutes' time. We're doing a preview on my channel with obviously Liam being about. I thought we could do a combined 11, come together, try and do a combined 11 at the end of the show, and also bit more in-depth chat about tomorrow's big match and what our favourite goal in the North London derby is and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and
yes,
Sam, your
channel? Thanks again as always for having me on. It's been great. It's been really good. My channel is Sam Greenwood TV. It's growing a bit at the moment. I haven't really done much yet, but I mainly be doing like late evening chats about Arsenal, about current affairs in football, what's going on. Keep it a bit light-hearted, have a bit of banter and that, and then on top of that, try to do some quizzes here and there. Try and keep them a bit interested as well. And then apart from that, I'm spending a lot of time on other people's channels doing watch-alongs and previews and reviews and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll probably catch me on all these other guys' channels as well. So yeah, thanks for having me. It's been really good.
Yeah, and Liam, just give your platforms a shout out.
Yeah, no, it's just Twitter at Liam Damo 1983, and yeah, go easy on me tomorrow, lads, if we get beat.
Well, listen, we can't promise that, but you know, as you know, with banter goes anywhere. But listen, guys, thank you very much to everybody who's tuned in. Remember, do subscribe here to the Blind Gooner if you're new, and like I say, keep liking the content and sharing the content. Also, don't forget, tomorrow at 4 p.m. we're going to be back here on the Blind Gooner for the watch along of Tottenham v Arsenal. It's going to be a great game. There's going to be lots and lots of banter going on, lots and lots of laughs. But you know, listen, we're going to be on air from 4 p.m. taking you right through the game, and then We're going to have a little chat about it afterwards. What I've decided to do going forward with the watch-alongs is what we're going to do. I know we've been doing the review and player ratings straight after, but what I've decided to do is possibly split them into 2 different shows. So what we'll do is we'll do the watch-along, and then the review and player ratings will be a separate show, maybe like the day after or something. Just because I know that the watch-alongs are quite long, and by the time that the game finishes and that, we're all pretty tired and stuff. So yeah, we need time to recharge the old batteries. So yeah, the review and player ratings won't be in the at the same time as the watch-along. They'll be a separate show. So that's what's going to be happening going forward. So yeah, listen. Thanks, guys, for a great show. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in and contributed. And until 4 p.m. tomorrow, we're out of here.